Hello, everyone, and warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for joining today's webinar for Master Computer Science program from Heriot-Watt University in partnership with Coursera. My name is Diana, and I'm an enrollment counselor. Joining me today are my wonderful colleagues from Heriot-Watt admissions team, Carol Thompson and Leslie Allen, who will be monitoring the live chat for your questions, as well as Alyssa, who will be helping us today behind the scene. We will be starting off with a program overview, followed by admission requirements, tuition insights, and the application process. But most importantly, I'll be excited to introduce you very soon to Dr. Abrar Ullah, who will be joining us today from Heriot-Watt University and will be taking part in our live Q&A. So as the presentation goes, please feel free to type your questions in the Q&A box. And also, this session is recorded and webinar recording will be shared with you after the session. So let's get started. As mentioned earlier, we have a special guest joining us today, Dr. Abrar Ullah, who is a program director and associate professor of computer science at Heriot-Watt. Thank you so much, Abrar, for joining us today. Would you like to share a little bit of introduction and introduce yourself?
Thank you, Diana. Hi, everyone. My name is Abrar, and I'm associate professor at School of Mathematical and Computer Science, Heriot-Watt University. Besides my teaching experience, I have been working in the industry for 18 years. So I have experience in both public and private sector organizations as a systems analyst, lead software developer, and technical lead. And currently, I'm the program director for the MSc Computer Science online degree, but I'm also the director of postgraduate studies for our postgraduate programs. Over to you, Diana. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Abrar. We will definitely be hearing more from Dr. Abrar very shortly, but for now, let's start with the brief program overview. So let's start with some insights into Heriot-Watt. It is a specialist pioneering university, #1 in Scotland for AI, with global presence, world-renowned, innovative research, and highly employable graduates. As a matter of fact, Heriot-Watt University is the highest ranked university in Scotland, as well as second in UK for graduate outcomes. When students enroll in Heriot-Watt University's master degree in computer science, they are joining a global community with 27,000 other current students and more than 166,000 alumni across 190 countries. As the first university in Scotland to offer a computer science degree and now home to the UK National Roboterium, Heriot-Watt is globally recognized for its expertise in robotics and computer science. Over 88% of its research outputs have been classified as world-leading and internationally excellent, according to Research Excellence Framework. So in this program, you will be learning from globally recognized technology experts while not having to leave your home or workplace, which I think is really incredible. All right, now let's dive into the career prospects. Of course, this is at the forefront of many students looking to pursue further education. So you may be interested to hear that over 15% of university students have transitioned into CEO or managing director roles, the highest percentage found anywhere in UK. Specifically designed to get you industry ready, this master degree combines foundational computing and mathematical learning with practical skills in programming, AI, machine learning, and database management. You will be fully prepared to reshape your career using the world's most exciting new technologies, even if you do not have background in computer science. After graduation, your skills will be in high demand across many industries, preparing you for a range of diverse jobs, including full-stack developer, cloud architect, DevOps engineer, or data analyst, just some examples. With guidance from renowned academics who are experts in their field, you will critically engage with your course materials and discuss how they apply in real-world challenges. So your program director will be Dr. Abrar Ullah, who has over 20 years of experience in both industry and academia. And you can also see on the slide other leading academics who will be supporting you on your whole educational journey. Here, I would like to share with you insights from Professor Sarah Lombardo, Executive Dean of the School of Mathematical and Computer Sciences at Heriot-Watt University. I'll give you a few moments just to read it first. So notice how Professor Lombardo highlights that computer science is far more than just writing code or thinking up complex algorithms. It is about using technology to improve lives, to innovate, and create positive impact. And this brings me to the next slide, where we'll explore a little deeper as to how the program is structured. So let's talk about what you can expect from the program and how you will be studying. So this fully online program has been designed to provide flexible learning experience, allowing you to acquire skills and knowledge without having to take a career break and fitting your studies around your existing commitments. The degree can be completed in just under 2 years or take up to 8 years to finish. The overall duration will depend on how many modules you take each semester and your time commitment. We recommend to spend anywhere between maybe 16 to 18 hours per week per course. And this will increase should you register for more modules, so something to keep in mind. The degree consists of 8 courses plus a final project. Each course will be studied over 12 weeks, and the content of our programs and courses is also reviewed annually to make sure it's up to date and relevant. All these courses are designed and delivered by academics from Heriot-Watt University, meaning students will benefit from the same level of academic excellence as the university and campus students. So what your typical day may look like is you'll log into your Coursera and you'll see the courses you're registered for on your dashboard. And you'll notice that this program runs using a blend of pre-recorded video content, written study materials, and then optional live sessions. So things like readings, video recording, lectures, specifically assignments, discussion forums, all of which will be there for you to help build networks with your peers and then spark those connections. So in terms of live sessions, you can expect about 3 webinars per course per semester. And of course, we advise learners to attend them because this is where you can benefit from the learning, the community. Those sessions will be held twice to accommodate for different time zones and learner availability. But please don't worry if you can't attend, because the sessions are recorded and you can always watch back the recording. And now just spend a couple of seconds on the final online assessments. So these normally take place at the end of the cohort. They are online and run over 2 weeks. So to pass, you will need to reach grade D or above, and you may be allowed 1 initial attempt and 1 resit for each course, with a maximum of 3 resits permitted for the program. Amazing. So let's now move on to reviewing admission requirements. So there are 2 admission routes, standard and performance-based pathway. One of the unique positionings of this degree, in my opinion, is that admission in this program doesn't depend on your educational or professional background. This is where your performance-based admission pathway comes in, where it lets you showcase your ability to learn rather than your credentials. So to qualify on the performance-based pathway, you will need to complete first course from the program, Programming and Program Design, which will start in May. You can also secure your place in the program by applying for the traditional application-based route, which we call standard admission pathway. So if you're applying through this route, you will need to have undergraduate degree in STEM-related subject and an ability to meet English language requirements. Excellent. So now just a moment to cover a very important topic for, I think, everyone, is tuition fees. The total indicative cost of the Master in Computer Science degree is £8,995 British pounds. This program is available on pay-as-you-go learning tuition model, so where each course is 1,285 British pounds. The tuition fees include any study materials required and assessments, so you can pay per course to help you spread the tuition over the whole course of your program. You'll also earn a globally recognized professional certification from leading tech companies such as IBM, Google at no additional cost. And also there is no application fee to apply. Please do note, however, that the tuition fees listed here are for courses starting in 2025, and the indicative full program fee that you just seen, it doesn't take into account any annual fee increases, which normally occur on an annual basis. Now, whilst there are no scholarships options available for this program, students often explore possibility of employer tuition reimbursement. Also, students who previously studied at Heriot-Watt, they could be eligible for 20% tuition fee discount on their postgraduate program. We will be sharing a link about alumni discounts in the chat towards the end of the session. Unfortunately, this degree is not eligible for FAFSA loans for students perhaps from US. Now, let's review the application checklist. So to apply via the standard pathway, you will need a first or second class undergraduate degree in a STEM-related subject, provided an academic transcript from your university and with English translation if necessary. You will also need to be above the age of 18 years old to apply. If you declare that English is not your first language, you will need to confirm your ability to meet English language requirements. Again, we will be sharing a link to that very shortly in the chat so you can explore in a little bit more detail what are those requirements. But to briefly give you insight, it's important that you're able to demonstrate that your IELTS grade is at 6, completed within the last 2 years, but other tests might be accepted too. Now, if you're applying for this program by a performance-based route, all you need to do is provide concise and persuasive statement, supporting statement indicating why you would like to enroll for this program, your professional academic ambitions. The statement should be somewhere between 500 to 1,000 words as a general recommendation. If English is not your first language, you also must demonstrate the required level of proficiency in your supporting statement. However, formal tests are not mandatory for this program, for the performance-based pathway specifically. And I also wanted to take a couple of minutes to guide you through a few stages as you decide to put forward that application. This is really to help you apply for the correct program via appropriate admission pathway. So here you can see some screenshots to guide you through the application process. So when you start your application via the Heriot-Watt portal, you will first need to create an account. Please make sure you select the correct year, so online, distance learning under the location, and select postgraduate under the academic level. So those who are eager to start working on their application in the next couple of days, we will pop down the link in the chat towards the end of the session as well. Now, once you've set up your account, you will need to create a new application. Please make sure you select Heriot-Watt Online and Distance Learning Postgraduate option as shown on the slide. This will then allow you to select appropriate admission pathway, so standard or performance-based. So please select the most appropriate option, as the application process will look a little bit different depending on the route that you choose. And now, once you submitted your application, please remember to attach your required documents such as your personal statement, degree certificate, or English test results. Your application is then complete, and it will be sent to the panel once all the documents have been provided. So you will see on your application homepage, action required under the status as shown on the slide. So please make sure you click on view to provide anything outstanding, because only after that point your application will be sent for review. All right, now to conclude, once you have submitted and completed your application through Heriot-Watt online portal, you will receive an email confirming that your application has been received. So the admissions committee, they'll then review your application. It can take up to 7 business days for university to make a decision. However, it is dependent on successful completion and correct documentation being submitted with your application. So therefore, once again, I strongly recommend uploading your documents such as transcripts, personal statement, or English language requirements on the application portal, as missing documents may lead to a delay in response. After your application has been reviewed, you will receive either a conditional or a conditional offer of your admission onto the program. You will see an update on your application email where you will need to log into your application portal with your decision letter. So please also check your spam folder in case that email is sent there by mistake. So please note that if you have a conditional offer, you will be required to provide further evidence in order to change this to unconditional. You will need to refer to your offer letter, of course, for further details. And if you receive unconditional offer, you will then have to formally accept this through your online application portal. Once you have officially accepted your offer, you will need to complete your enrollment and register for your first course by processing the payment. Then once your payment has been made successfully, you will see the course on your student profile. Completing registration early will allow you to have a head start on your onboarding course starting on 7th of April. Closer to the start of semester, you will receive an email invitation with instructions to link to your Coursera account. You'll also receive an announcement as soon as access to your registered course or orientation module becomes available. And then once you complete all these steps, you will be starting on your course on the 5th of May. All right. Now we are approaching the most exciting part of our webinar. So thank you so much, Dr. Abrar, once again for joining us today, for showing and sharing your insights into this master program in computer science. So we have some very great questions already aligned from our students. So pretty much without further ado, let's just dive right into it. And I'll start with the first question. All right. So Dr. Abrar, could you please provide us with a bit of a brief overview of the Master Computer Science program at Heriot-Watt and what makes it unique and what are the key focus areas of this degree program?
Thanks, Diana. I think you've touched upon the program structure already, so I would not repeat that. But I think it's important for everyone to know that this program is designed to equip students with advanced technical knowledge and skills in the field of computer science. Some of the courses on the program are strongly industry focused. Since it's a computer science program, it covers core theoretical underpinnings, but at the same time, we emphasize on industry-informed practical knowledge to tackle real-world problems. So you will have a real flavor of working on industry problems, and you will be exposed to some industry-led courses. The core topics that we attempt to cover includes AI, machine learning, programming, databases, data structures, software engineering, and mathematics for computer science. There's a course on industry specialization that I would explain in a bit. But there's a question about what the reason that this program is unique. I mean, to answer that question, we use a terminology, a conversion program. So this is a conversion program, okay? Or we also call it a transformative degree. So we allow students with a non-computer science bachelor degree or previous qualification on the program through our performance-based admission route. So if somebody comes from, say, pharmaceutical industry or from medical sciences or, I don't know, humanities, they can still enroll on the program it is conditional that they have to have good grades in the first course via the performance-based admission route. So they need to at least get a D grade to be able to fully enroll on the program. Opportunity for them to enter the program. It is not a requirement that you should have a previous BSc computer science or you know, any other specialism as in computer science or in the field of IT to qualify for admission. Okay. Industry specialization. One of the courses is called industry specialization, which is course number 7. So we have 6 taught courses, 1 industry specialization, and 1 project. Okay. And industry specialization is unique because you will be offered from a set of industry courses compiled or developed by leading tech providers. Okay, so I'm going to share the details there in a bit, but you'll have an opportunity to pick whatever course you like from those offerings and write a portfolio of evidence about your learning once you finish the course. Okay, so the 6 courses are taught courses, and this certificate course is kind of passively taught, but you will learn a lot from this course.
This is wonderful. Thank you. So very amazing insights now onto the degree. I think it gives very good overview, in addition, of course, to what we covered as well. And one of the key things you highlighted there is the option of that PBA route, which indeed opens the doors to students who may have the passion, interest, but perhaps in the past have not had that background in computer science or STEM background altogether. So I think it's definitely very uniquely positioned in that sense. And I think if we move on to the next question, we covered it to some extent, but just wanted to double check if there's anything else you would like to add to the kind of primary objective. I know kind of you mentioned and touched upon briefly already.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think, you're right. I've touched upon it already, but I think one of the things I want to clarify that it suits 2 type of prospective students: those who want to pursue a career, a computer science degree, while continuing their professional commitments at work or at business or in job. But it also suits individuals from other industry with appetite to enhance their career in computer science. Now, it doesn't really mean that people switch their career. For example, someone who's a medic and they want to use computer science in their field, they don't need to switch their career. They can go on the program, learn computer science skills, and then take those skills and apply them in their domain. Because most of the time, the computer scientists don't have domain-specific skills. They don't have the domain-specific knowledge. For example, a pharmacist or biochemist, they can go on the program, learn computing skills, and then take those skills to their field, their discipline. For example, pharmacists with the domain knowledge can train a machine learning model for formulation of drugs. Or similarly, a biochemist can use AI in lab for diagnostic purposes. And there are many very different applications. I don't know about all fields, but I've shared a couple of examples to give you an idea. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you. And I think this actually very nicely leads us to the next question that that students also would like to know, which is what you kind of highlighted, that this program welcomes students with diverse backgrounds. And we even had some questions in the chat as well. If you could elaborate perhaps on what level of prior computer science knowledge would be expected, especially in those cases where students may not have a degree in a computer science, for example.
Thanks, Diana. That's a very interesting question, and like they say, there's no silver bullet. It's not an easy one to answer, but because individuals coming from a different background with no knowledge, I would say they need to do some prep. Okay, so no knowledge is no good. Some fundamental knowledge, so knowledge about computer science. fundamentals. They should know what is a computer, what is hardware, software, how to write a short, brief program. If you don't have that very basic knowledge, I think then you would struggle on the first course, the PBA course. So I would encourage different discipline to take some basic courses to understand the fundamentals of computers, okay, at a beginner level. It doesn't need to be at an expert level, okay. But no knowledge is, then it's going to make it more challenging when you go and start your first course on the programming and program design, which will start from sort of the low level, but it will develop into an advanced level. You can learn on the course, but I would advise everyone who is not coming from computer science background to have some basic learning about what computers are, how computer programs are developed, how they're written. Just basic, the beginner level. That would help a lot. I hope I answered the question.
Yes, no, I think it highlights that it sets expectations for sure on what students could expect, especially if you maybe didn't have the technical background. And it is a lot about maybe doing a bit of their own kind of work, just testing the waters, checking different type of relevant maybe skills that they know would be covered in a degree. So there is a detailed curriculum available on Coursera. And actually, we now moving on to the next question, which is a little bit more about the curriculum. So would you be able to tell us a little more about the curriculum and the practical skills the students would be developing, just to provide a bit more context to students?
Okay, yeah. This is a good question, because I was heavily involved in the program development, and the program is designed based on industry survey and market demand. So we have considered that what is in demand in the market, so that aspect's been covered. But at the same time, to be academically correct and to use industry-informed practices for development of curriculum, we align the program with the ACM curriculum benchmarking for computer science to cover the core skills that you need as a computer scientist. The key courses covered in the program, I've already touched upon them, and they're already published on Coursera. But the courses include the programming and program design, mathematics for computer science, database and knowledge representation, data structures and algorithms, data mining and industry specialization, data mining and machine learning, software engineering, and industry specialization, or IS. There'll be a capstone project, or the final project when you finish your taught courses. It is an individual project with the highest credit, with the highest number of credits. I think that's about the curriculum and the practical skills. I think we've discussed the practical skills a bit in the previous questions, but I will highlight it more going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when it comes to skills, often students, of course, are motivated by sometimes meeting that personal interest of upskilling themselves, self-development, but often it is driven by their desire then to use those practical skills into their employment, into their job, either the current or maybe they're looking for that career transition. So if we move on to the next slide, just wanted to ask some follow-up questions on that. Yeah, so feel free, Alyssa, to move us along. Excellent, thank you. So Dr. Abrar, how does this master degree in computer science equip students with the industry relevant skills needed to excel in today's tech-driven world? We obviously can follow up with the second part of the question, but let's just address this one to start with.
All right, okay. So I have referred to the curriculum development already. So we try to cover the core theoretical and practical knowledge. Theory is very important, because without understanding theory, it is very difficult to apply practical knowledge and practice. Again, students will be able to take free courses from leading tech companies. We've referred to this already. And these courses are developed by Google, IBM, AWS, Meta, deep learning.ai. So we have identified these big tech providers, and we have selected a good list of courses, okay, relevant list of courses, and students will have an opportunity, one of the course of their choosing during the IS course, industry specialization course. Now, the pathways. Okay, I will come to the pathways after. So sorry, Diana, you mentioned that we'll come to that after. So the courses that I was referring to, that the courses are full stack development. Now you can, in full stack, you can focus on the front end or the UI, the middle tier, and the back end. And this course is developed by one of the leading tech providers. The second course is the UI UX design, the backend development, mobile apps for iOS, mobile apps for Android, IBM DevOps. Now, the technology stack for all these courses are different. Okay, I'm not going to the detail of what technology you will learn. For example, some of them will be using Python, others will be using Node.js and React. So there's tons of technologies that you will learn, but you will have to pick and choose according to your requirement and what you think is suitable to you.
Excellent.
Okay, thank you.
I think, Abrar, this is perfect timing for us to then cover maybe some specific examples in terms of perhaps career opportunities and those pathways using the skills, industry relevant skills that you mentioned to help students maybe open up for graduates. Would you have any examples maybe you can share with students to start thinking about that?
Okay, so I personally come from industry background. I worked for industry for 18 years, and I've, out of my 25 years experience, I worked a lot for the industry, and I've been teaching for a while now. So it is an individual choice, but being a computer science, you have opportunities to pursue career in industry, or you want to go on a teaching or research track. In teaching and research, again, there are two tracks. But going back to the industry route, so in industry, there are different roles that you can take. For example, software developer or web developer, systems analyst, data analyst, UX UI developer, mobile app developer. Nowadays, data scientists in high demand, machine learning or deep learning model developers. Nowadays, machine learning is quite trending. So if you excel in learning AI and ML or DL modeling, then you can use that knowledge in industry. For example, if you go to Amazon, now you're searching for products, all of a sudden you see recommendations. The recommendations are based on recommendation systems, right? Now these recommendation systems are machine learning, are trained on machine learning models. Now that's one aspect, the industry. The other ones that you can pursue a teaching or research career. Now teaching is, I would encourage those who want to pursue a teaching career to think about a PhD. So they take their journey from MSc towards a PhD research that would lead to a teaching career. You can also sort of think about working on industrial research. Now, that can be done while you pursue your PhD. You can sort of work for industry at the same time. We offer CDTs in our Edinburgh campus, and we are starting that in Dubai soon. So that there are varied opportunities. They can think about what suits your skill set and what suits your career aspirations. You can take the industry route, the research route, the research to teaching route, or the research to industry route.
This is fantastic. And actually, you also answered one of the questions we had in the chat specifically about those routes, perhaps research PhD moving after the program. So thank you already for doing so. We have a couple of very unique questions and interesting questions that students are asking live. So I thought to take some time to maybe address some of those before we move on to our final question. It would be nice to maybe finish off on that one. So just want to ask a couple of questions from the chat for you, Dr. Abrar. One of which would be, as this degree, so it's at a master level, but does it include options like completing it with a postgraduate certificate or diploma as an exit qualification if students are unable to complete
Yes.
a full master?
Yeah, sorry. Yes, you can do that. Depends on the credit, because if you see the program handbook, there are a certain number of credits that you need to achieve to have an exit award. For MSc, you need 180 credits. For postgraduate diploma, I think the credit requirements is less than that, and for PG certificates is a lot less than that. So if I remember correctly, for PG certificate, it's 60 credit that you need to graduate with a postgraduate certificate. For PG diploma, it's 120, and for an MSc, it's 180 credits. Okay. Now for MSc, you need to have at least A to D grades in all your courses, plus at least 50% or C grade in your capstone project. You don't have that requirement for a PG diploma, and sometimes students who do not perform or underperform or do not perform well, they have a credit-bearing grade, like E grade. Then the exit award is either postgraduate diploma or a postgraduate certificate, depending on the criteria. If they meet the criteria for postgraduate diploma, then they're awarded postgraduate diploma. Okay. If they do not meet the criteria for postgraduate diploma and they fall further down, not an ideal situation, then they can graduate with a PG certificate. If you want to do that by choice, you can do that by choice. After completing 4 courses, we can award you a PG certificate. The same for PG diploma.
Okay, so that's, I think that provides excellent summary here. Thank you so much. We have slightly opposite type question where students are wondering if they already hold, let's say, postgraduate diploma from British Computing Society, would they be eligible to apply with that credential for the standard pathway for this degree?
Okay, so the university policies for admission requires students to have an honors degree, first or second class honors degree. Now we can make an exemption if they have a 3 years bachelor or equivalent plus 2 years experience. Okay, if they have relevant experience, and we can consider that on a case by case, on a case-to-case basis, but we don't usually admit students who do not have the baseline qualification of an honors degree.
Thank you. So I think for now, let's continue maybe with some of the questions from the chat, because we have quite a few of them and want to ensure we address as many as we can in the next 20 minutes. So one of the questions is from Farah, who is curious whether you may be able to recommend any particular reading that students can prepare and read ahead of time, ahead of their May start date.
I thank you for the question. I think I will make a note of this, and we might signpost it on the induction website for students who are joining, so they can have an opportunity to go and do the self-learning in readiness for the first course. I don't remember the top of my head now the list of courses that I can recommend. I would say you can try Googling, but if you need a more prescriptive answer to your question, we can do that research and advise some recommended reading.
Sounds amazing. I think, yes, we have quite a lot of eager students who really want to use the next 3 to 4 months to prepare to feel like they're fully ready to start on the program. So any recommendations, pretty sure, will be greatly appreciated. Now, moving on to another question from Naphtali. So they're curious to understand regarding AI and machine learning modules. what can students expect to get out of it? So, for example, would they be supposed to be able to create their own models, know how to use existing models? Will it be teaching the necessary maths? So this would be the first part of the question.
Okay, so we have for all these different courses who specializes in the respective areas. But just to sort of give you a hint that yes, you will learn the theory of machine learning models, the different algorithms of machine learning, and then deep learning, they have different algorithms, right? So you will learn about those algorithms, and then you will be asked to sort of do some practical work and develop models to test them. And then you will be obviously assessed on those. So certainly there will be opportunities for you to learn and then apply the knowledge, practically apply the knowledge using some data sets. Okay. Now with online learning, the beauty is that you can use a lot of online resources, and we can signpost resources to you. By the way, we take a similar approach with our on-campus students. We exactly like we do with the online students, but the only thing is that we have like in-person presence, but with online students, we don't have that. I think certainly you will have the same opportunities as we would like for our on-campus students to apply the theory and have that the practical knowledge and practical application of the theory.
Fantastic. I think that's very good intro to that. And a student did have a follow-up question, which is around software development specifically. So they're curious to understand how are they going to be, if they're going to be using and analyzing real-world scenarios as part of the software development, and will it be teaching on how to architect and optimize big systems?
Oh, okay. So how to architect and okay, yes, okay. Architecture is covered. A part of the architecture is covered in software engineering, but that's the software design aspect when you're designing a software system. Now, with software, when you're designing a system, you can when you take a global view of a system, it could be a composition of many subsystems, smaller systems. For example, a university, the global view is a big system, right? So you can have smaller systems like account information system, admission information system, student information system, budgeting system, exam system. Now they're all subsystems. So obviously you think holistically. You take the same application approach that you would use for one of the subsystems. You can use the same approach on all the subsystems and then have the integration strategy to integrate them all. Now the theory is the same, the concept is the same. Now we are going to teach you the concepts, then you can apply and use in a small system or in a big enterprise system.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Appreciate it. Now, more questions to come, one of which is from Evangelist, who would like to understand if they need to actually have any specific application on their computer or specific like hard drive or subdrive to be able to do programs successfully. So would they need to have any, I would say, special tech requirements for their laptops?
Well, I'm someone coming from industry. Definitely, I would want a good computer. I think a standard computer would do, but in terms of application, for example, if you're doing the first course, programming and program design, it has a strong element of Java. So you'll need to download the Java IDE. Now they perhaps recommend Eclipse, but there are a number of IDEs that you can use. So I think I wouldn't give a leading answer here to tell you to do this while the course lecturer advise you something else. But certainly you will need to install Java itself, the Java compiler, the JDE, the Java Development Environment, and the JDK, Java Development Toolkit, right? So you need that on your first course. If you're going to the database sides of things, say database development, then you will need to install, say, MySQL. Now, MySQL have different flavors. You can install MariaDB, or you can install the community version of MySQL. For the UI, you can use CLI to connect to your MySQL, or you can use a Workbench application to connect to MySQL. So, as you progress through your program, you will be introduced to different technologies, and you can install them on your computer as you go, starting with Java, because Java will be used in many courses. Again, if you go to the industry specialization course, it depends on which course you pick from, highlighted earlier. So if you want to do the iOS development, obviously the iOS development, you need to install Java and some Android frameworks to develop iOS apps. But if you are going for the Apple, sorry, that's the iOS, that's not the Android. So for Android, you need Android toolkit. For iOS, you need something to do with the iOS, the Apple toolkit. So it really depends what you pick. And as you progress, you will be introduced to those tools. But certainly you need a good computer.
Indeed, I couldn't agree more. Technology, especially when you study a program, a degree, which is all around, computer science, where technology is at forefront, having hopefully reliable tool like a reliable computer is really appreciated and much needed. So thank you for confirming that as well. Now, I know you covered this earlier in our discussion today. We do have quite a few questions in the chat about very similar theme and topic, and I would like to ask you, Dr. Abrar, to perhaps repeat it, maybe for some students who joined at the later stage, regarding the languages that would be taught during this program. I know you briefly mentioned, and actually quite extensively mentioned, about the Java. Would you be able to highlight how much Python would be used in this program?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, I think for those who would be using machine learning and deep learning algorithms, I think we recommend using Python, because a lot of the libraries for machine learning, they're in Python, and Python is kind of the leading language for developing those models. So definitely Python, and Python notebook, you can, Anaconda and all that. But then once you've installed the core Python, you can install all the libraries that you need for the courses that you're taking. So if you're developing a model, then depending on the algorithm that you're using, you can install the extensions and the libraries that you're running. Okay. Java programming, that's the core, because Java programming is going to be taught in the first course. You're also going to use Java in the data structures and algorithms. Okay. React, I think I have seen it in one of the courses, because I have not personally done those courses, but I have picked and chose some of them. I've kind of ratified them. There's some very good courses. So if you're, for example, building backend applications, now my favorite is Node.js, but that's my favorite. Doesn't mean that you should do that. You can pick another language. Node.js is there. I think React as a front end, because we also offer you to learn a front end development. One of the certificate is on front end. So if you're interested in that, you can use React. Some people are using, I think, I forgot the name, React.js. Firebase. You can use Firebase. That's a backend for the API development. Again, Node.js is the API development tool. So there are a number of languages, a number of variations, and I think they're really exciting. You will learn a good set of skills on the program.
Excellent. And actually, as you were describing some of those additional languages and these students will be using, a few more comments came through, obviously acknowledging that some of those languages were their favorites, but also I wanted to ask about one particular one, if the Java module will be done in Kotlin. And just want to double check with you. Obviously, apologies, I'm not entirely familiar with Kotlin, but wondered if you may know the answer to that.
I think my knowledge with Kotlin is the same. I suppose Kotlin has a flavor of Java, but I don't want, don't quote me for that. I don't want to give a qualified answer for that one, because at the core, I'm a Node and ASP developer from my industry background. Java, just vanilla Java. I use vanilla Java for teaching, and some of the courses are using vanilla Java and its data structures. But I can't say for sure that we're using Kotlin. Okay, it depends on the program tutor if they're using Kotlin that I'm not aware of, because the course developers, they're the leader of the courses, and they can pick and choose the flavors that they want the students to learn. Um, I hope that
Perfect.
answered the question.
I think it does. It does indeed. I think you covered even before that very good insight, sort of what are those expectations. And I'm hoping it provides much needed clarification to students. I'm trying to go through questions because we have some similar teams here. For example, one of the common questions that I can see in the chat is around acceptance rate for either of the pathways. And was just curious to see how you would like to perhaps address that particular question, Abrar, about what may be the acceptance rate for performance-based or for standard pathway, if you are able to share that.
Okay, I'm not sure if someone from admission can answer the question, because I don't know about the statistics. It comes through a workflow before I end up see the application. So I don't know how many applications are kind of forwarded on to me. So far, I think we have a good acceptance rate. Now again, I think it would be misleading to say how many out of 100, but we have about, I don't know, 45 or something enrolled already on the program. We have received some admission from students who are interested. They've already made their payment. So I don't have the numbers on me. If someone else in the chat from the university can highlight or shed some light on it,
No worries at all. I think I might be able to share some insights myself, since I worked with quite a lot of students over the past month, supporting them with, application process, clarifying questions. So from what I've seen is where really what works is when students are able to put forward that compelling statement, first of all, about what were their motivations for joining the program, their ambitions, professional and academic, why perhaps they chose to pursue a master degree in computer science, but also from Heriot-Watt. So these are things very important to put some thought into when you're submitting application. And so that should indicate fairly good stance, and ensuring your application is complete and you apply through the right pathway. But as Dr. Abra mentioned, and I think this is one of the things, fortunately, we can't confirm, but please feel free to reach out to myself if you would like some further guidance, clarifications to really help you increase those chances of being accepted onto the program. So we are moving to the close very soon. So I know we have 5 more minutes remaining. So what I wanted to do is perhaps come back to our last final question to really summarize all the amazing insights you shared with us today, Dr. Abra, and perhaps share that final piece of advice. So what you would recommend to prospective students who are now considering applying for the program.
Okay, so if you have a computing background, I think that would help a lot. So if you have not done Java programming before, you should start learning about the basic Java programming, or Java for beginners. Okay, you can learn about different data structures like linked lists, trees, arrays, array lists. So these are some common data structures that you can learn about in Java, and they will help you a lot with your first course. Okay. I would also encourage you to look into Python programming. Now, Python, in terms of learning, Python is the easiest language to learn. This is why they teach Python at school levels. But when it comes to applying Python in machine learning and AI applications, it could be different than obviously the GCSE level of difficulty. So to start with, I think I would sort of encourage those who have no prior knowledge of Java and Python, they should start learning about it. You can find a number of courses online, including Coursera, that you can sort of identify courses on Python and Java, and start working towards the course on the 1st of May.
Fantastic. Indeed, I think that's a very good summary of some preparations, some thoughts that students can have before joining. So we have, I guess, still a few more minutes remaining, and I will have quite a lot of questions. So what I wanted to mention is, first of all, please feel free, if there's anything that left unanswered or requires some further clarification, go ahead and book that meeting with myself and my colleagues, and we'll be able to provide some further guidance and advice. There were a few questions about the professional certifications, so those industry specializations. And to provide some further clarity, there are obviously 11 to choose from. These are, as Dr. Abrar mentioned, embedded into your curriculum, but you have also option to work on them, I guess, ahead of the degree starting. And so you can put forward, I guess, one of them towards your program, and then your workload will be a little lighter during that period. But once again, if you would like to discuss it in more detail, let's have a chat. Feel free to scan the QR code. And what I wanted to do as well, as promised, to share with you a couple of useful links in the chat. So if you just bear with me a second, I'll post it for all the attendees to review, which would include our alumni discounts, English language requirements, application link as well. But I want to take this time to thank you, Dr. Abrar, for amazing insights, for being here today to provide further clarification about this amazing and exciting master degree that is about to begin on 5th of May, and as well as our colleagues Carol and Leslie for your support with the Q&A today and providing lots and lots of answers to the questions. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you our amazing students for joining the session as well. Hope you found it useful, and please feel free to apply by the 24th of March. Have a good day, everyone. Goodbye.
Ta-da, bye.